Girl group idols are typically expected to have this pure and pristine image upon debut, and sometimes a group's image can be a deciding factor of how successful they will be, especially when the industry is so competitive. That is why anything that can cause their spot is the K-pop ladder should be disregarded. Don't even get me started with Knet's ridiculously high standards that no one seems to reach. Not to mention how the press and media would more often than not stick their noses to others' businesses when they shouldn't. This is the reason why most idols would try their best not to stir any trouble during the beginning of their debut. However, there are idols who were so unfortunate and got themselves involved in a very shocking controversy before they even debuted. Like, it's super serious, they almost disbanded before they even performed in their debut showcase. Well, in any case you want to meet these ladies, then make sure to keep watching because I'll be walking you through one of the most controversial debuts in K-pop history. Okay, let's get started. Honey Popcorn is a Japanese girl group based in South Korea who originally debuted with 3 members. I say originally because obviously they had a lot of member changes after they unfortunately made their debut, but I will talk more about that later. Let's meet the members first. With Yua Mikami, Miko Matsuda, and Moko Sakura, Honey Popcorn is composed of former J-pop idols from SKE48 and NMB48. And while most of you would think that most of the ruckus is because they are foreigners trying to make it big in the K-pop scene, it's actually a completely different story. It does involve their past careers back in their home country, but it has nothing to do with them being J-pop idols because prior to their debut, all 3 members of Honey Popcorn were AV actresses. Yes, you heard it right. And so it was only the start of the storm these 3 girls will be experiencing. And when I say storm, I'm not joking. I mean, producing such content is very much banned in Korea, so you can only imagine how big of an issue it might have been for netizens to know that these soon-to-be debut idols aren't only indirectly involved in that kind of business, but directly acting in it. It might be pretty normal for the members of Honey Popcorn, since in case you guys didn't know, in Japan it's no big deal for former idols who graduated from their respective groups to transition to mature roles. Posing for adult magazines are also pretty common, but in Korea, it's definitely taboo given how conservative the country is, sometimes unnecessarily strict at some point. I mean, K-pop idols are expected to look perfect 24/7, so projecting mature images is a big no-no. Anyways, going back to the main stars of this video, because of this, tons of petitions were made against their debut and it became an instant public matter in Korea. It was so serious, the petition reached the Blue House with a massive 35,000 signatures in total. Oof, they're that hated and they haven't made their debut yet. Imagine the bloodbath when they finally performed in front of the public. As you can already see, there are a lot of people who were displeased, and as expected, tons of comments flooded social media. Some Knets even left a comment telling the girls to just, quote, go back to Japan, quote, while another asked, quote, since when did adult actresses become in the same ranks as idols? Yikes. However, despite all the backlash they received, Honey Popcorn was able to debut on March 21st, 2018 with their song Bididi Badidi Boo, which is super cute and catchy if you would ask me. But Knets didn't give up just yet because while they were not able to get their debut band, they however were successful in getting Honey Popcorn's debut showcase cancelled, or at least they thought. Leader Yua took her sadness to social media when she posted about the sudden cancellation of their most awaited debut showcase, and it might have been very hard for them. I mean, we all know how important and meaningful it is for idols in general to perform for the first time during their debut showcase. It's like the very first step towards their dream, and to have this chance taken away from you surely hurts a lot. Not to mention, Yua even funded their debut herself, so it might be a total shock for her since it is a 100% passion project for the girls. Luckily, the showcase soon pushed through, and the 3 members of Honey Popcorn officially debuted as K-pop idols. This is when the sky started clearing for the group, but not for so long though. Months after, seems like things settled pretty well for the group when they announced that they will hold their very first fan meeting. But just when they thought everything is going smoothly, the group received another wave of backlash after it was revealed that there would be an age restriction of 18-year-olds and above for Honey Popcorn's fan meeting. And since their past line of work had already damaged their reputation, the unusual age restriction even drew more flack since normal fan meets allow children fans in. So why are they banned from Honey Popcorns? I guess you already know the possible answer, right? The group continued promoting despite all the rude comments and even announced that they would be seeking for additional members, which surprised a lot of people, fans and non-fans alike. Their confusion was soon answered when member Miko announced her departure, also commonly known as graduation from the group, in December 2018. 1 year later, Yua posted a video on their official YouTube account regarding the update on their new members. She even revealed how their agency tried persuading Mnet to produce a variety show involving the group, but Mnet wasn't interested. This was mainly because of the controversy they got involved in during their debut. Turned out Korea was not yet over the fact that they were AV actresses in the past, and so broadcasting stations are still cautious with anything related to them. It might be super hard for the girls, but they kept going and made their comeback, this time with their additional members Nako, Ruka, and Sara. And while the screen time of each member was better than their debut song, the song distribution was still pretty off. Remember when I mentioned how Yua self-funded their debut? Well, fans think this is the reason why the leader usually gets more lines allotted to her. This caused a lot of fan wars within the fandom. With so much going on, you'll be left asking what else can go wrong, since honestly, almost everything was going wrong even from the start. In the end, their song didn't chart well in Korea and was considered a flop all in all. Even with the addition of the other members, Honey Popcorn weren't given much opportunity to appear in Korean television, so they have very limited promotion. This is mainly because the audience cannot bring themselves to separate the girls and their past line of work, which is very saddening, especially when the girls are obviously trying so hard to better themselves for each comeback. However, people can only see the negativity of their past and decide to judge them because of that. Social media and the press weren't a big help as well, since they just fueled the already raging flames by their rude comments and unnecessary headlines about Honey Popcorn. There are even incidents that they have to deal with malicious comments directed at the members personally just because they used to act in adult movies. Ultimately, Honey Popcorn slowly disappeared from the limelight, and while Yua was able to continue her solo activities as an influencer and model, the other members were not given the same opportunity. This is the reason why fans were super sad, thinking that they wouldn't see the group performing in the near future. And while this might be likely to happen, we do hope that the group can have their closure and continue with their own paths happily. How about you? Do you think their past jobs are an issue? Let us know in the comments below and make sure to give this video a like. Also, stay tuned for more. See you next time.